Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Illusion Battlefield League, the ultimate battleground where alliances clash in a spectacular display of strategy, skill, and teamwork. In this high-stakes competition, alliances from across the multiverse compete for the coveted title of Supreme Alliance. The path to victory demands precision and power, capturing geometric towers, seizing the formidable central tower, and outmaneuvering opponents to reach 100,000 violet breath points. Every decision counts, every move is critical, and only the strongest will emerge victorious. I'm Godi, your host from Server 73, and today's match is shaping up to be an absolute spectacle. Representing Server 170, we have the Green Alliance, SF. Former Season 4 champions and strong contenders in Season 5, SF are returning with big expectations but some key losses to their strategic roster. Can they adapt and reclaim their glory? Keep an eye on their notable players, including press officers Elricky and Honor, as well as the one and only living meme, Persian King. The challengers are the Blue Alliance from Server 73, PRD. Often overshadowed by Cubs and Buns, PRD is here to prove they belong in the spotlight. Featuring press officers Fictions and Donde, they've also enlisted IKDC's notorious bad boy Mike, making a surprise guest appearance from Buns. Expect fireworks, strategy, and perhaps a little drama. Let's get ready for battle! Ladies and gentlemen, let's break down the action-packed battle for Tower 1, an absolute war zone right from the start. Both alliances came out strong. SF with 12 players and PRD with 10. Early on, SF committed 5 players to attack and 3 to support, while PRD countered with 2 attackers and 2 supporters. But PRD made a key defensive move, successfully blocking 2 SF players from relocating near the tower. Now, let's talk starting formations. SF's setup was all over the place, too many gaps, relocations too far from the action, and not enough players touching the tower. PRD, on the other hand, were locked in, compactly covering 2 corners and taking full advantage of their spawn point. Their tight formation gave them an early edge. As the fighting began, SF quickly showed their strength in rallies, effectively breaking PRD's defenses. PRD struggled to garrison their teammates, leaving openings for SF to press their advantage. And then, the pivotal moment. At 9 minutes and 40 seconds, SF activated Quick Occupy and successfully captured Tower 1 at 10 minutes and 17 seconds. PRD wasn't done yet though. At 20 minutes and 20 seconds they made a bold attempt to steal back Tower 1, but SF shut it down, solidifying their control. This was the turning point. PRD had to decide whether to keep fighting for Tower 1 or shift their focus elsewhere. By the 25-minute mark, most PRD players had abandoned Tower 1, heading toward the center tower, while a few stayed behind to hold their ground. Let's head over to Tower 2, SF's home base. A tower that saw some surprising action despite starting quietly. SF began with just 1 player guarding their home tower. For the first 21 minutes and 43 seconds, the tower sat uncontested, calm before the storm. Then PRD made their move, teleporting in and initiating a bold push into SF's territory. SF quickly responded with teleports of their own, setting the stage for a tense standoff. From 21 minutes to 29, 2 PRD players held their ground, effectively keeping SF busy and relieving pressure from other towers where PRD could focus their efforts. Now, normally sending so few players to an enemy home tower is a risky move. Backup is nearby for SF, while PRD's support is far away, but somehow PRD's duo managed to hold on for several minutes, keeping SF from zeroing them out and creating breathing room elsewhere on the map. In the final moments, SF regrouped and cleared the two PRD players from Tower 2. By the end of the match, SF had 6 players on guard, securing ownership of their home tower. A quiet start turned into a tactical tug-of-war at Tower 2. PRD's gamble paid off in taking pressure off other fronts, but SF ultimately stood firm, holding their home base as the match came to a close. An impressive recovery from SF to finish strong. And now we turn to Tower 3, PRD's home base. Normally a safe zone early in the match, this tower saw some unexpected action and drama. PRD started with just 3 players at their home tower, including 1 attacker and 1 supporter. Now, sending a support talent here is unusual, as Tower 3 typically sits uncontested for the first quarter of the match. That talent could have been far more effective elsewhere on the battlefield. After 5 minutes, 2 of the 3 guards move away from the tower, leaving it in a precarious position. SF spotted the vulnerability around the 9-minute mark and began sneaking in. Fighting broke out shortly after, starting as a 1v1 before another SF player joined in with a teleport. PRD responded quickly, teleporting reinforcements to the tower soon after. Then, things took a strange turn. For a while, players stopped attacking each other and focused on the tower itself. Fighting then resumed, nothing exceptional. However, SF managed to zero 2 of PRD's 3 players out. SF then began ramping up their presence, sending more players toward PRD's home tower by 26 minutes 45. The critical moment came at 29 minutes 15, when SF made an attempt to steal PRD's home tower. It was a close call, but PRD managed to knock SF out milliseconds before the capture. SF kept up the pressure for another 10 minutes, before deciding to redirect the focus elsewhere on the map at 39 minutes 30. By 44 minutes 40, PRD cleared most SF players from the tower, though 1 or 2 remained hitting from a distance. Despite the skirmishes, PRD held strong and secured Tower 3, finishing the match with ownership of their home base. While PRD successfully defended their home tower, the early lack of defense and a misplaced support talent created unnecessary risks. Nonetheless, they managed to hold their ground in the end. A win's a win, and PRD keeps their base intact. Now let's turn our attention to the fierce battle for Tower 4, an intense back-and-forth clash that had everything from bold moves to critical mistakes. Both teams started evenly matched, fielding 13 players each. SF brought 4 attackers and 1 supporter, while PRD deployed 3 attackers and 2 supporters. However, their starting formations told a different story. PRD's setup was suboptimal, covering just 1 corner in a 3-row deep spread. Their 3rd-row players were too far from the tower to contribute effectively. SF, on the other hand, came in strong with a clean formation, covering 3 corners with well-supported end players and extra teammates ready to garrison. The fighting began with standard rallies on both sides. By 6 minutes in, gaps started forming that both teams should have addressed. At 7 minutes 53, PRD activated Quick Occupy, attempting to capture the tower, but SF blocked it at 8 minutes 35. PRD tried again at 9 minutes, only to be blocked once more at 9 minutes 42. Meanwhile, 2 PRD players at the bottom appeared to be AFK, leaving a critical gap in their strategy. SF made their move at 17 minutes 45, activating Quick Occupy and successfully capturing Tower 4 at 18 minutes 30. PRD responded with a bold attempt to steal the tower at 27 minutes 15, activating Quick Occupy at 27 minutes 30, but SF held firm, blocking them for the 3rd time here by 28 minutes. As the match progressed, SF began reinforcing their position, receiving support from Spawn and their home tower, while PRD struggled to maintain control. PRD players were either zeroed away or losing focus, shifting attention to incoming SF reinforcements. However, PRD's Dande and Mike made a critical play, securing front row positions and enabling their teammates to move closer to the tower. SF, meanwhile, shifted their attention to Tower 1 and Central, creating an opening for PRD to rally back to Tower 4. At 37 minutes 41, PRD activated Quick Occupy again, with 19 PRD players against 15 SF players, but once again, for the fourth time, SF blocked them. PRD then switched tactics, focusing on clearing the surrounding SF players before making another attempt. At 44 minutes 10, PRD activated Quick Occupy and finally stole Tower 4 at 44 minutes 45. From there, the battle raged on until SF abandoned Tower 4 at the 47-minute mark to focus on Central Tower, recognizing its higher point value in the final moments. With PRD stealing the lead, SF needed every point to stay in contention. PRD capitalized, securing ownership of Tower 4 and holding it until the match ended. An epic tug of war over Tower 4, but in the end PRD's persistence paid off. A critical win for the blue team, keeping the pressure alive in this intense showdown. Alright folks, now let's dive into the intense battle for the Central Tower. An absolute tug of war that kept us on the edge of our seats. Both SF and PRD started strong, fielding 9 players each, with 4 attackers apiece and a slight edge in support for SF, who deployed 2 supporters to PRD's 1. Both teams set up fairly standard formations. SF opted for a wider spread, which gave them great coverage of the tower but left their edges vulnerable and slowed down their rally responses. PRD, meanwhile, locked down the bottom left corner with a compact formation that relied heavily on precise teamwork and coordination. The fight began with a strong opening from PRD. Their edge player led the rally, targeting SF's nearest player, while SF started their rally from further back. This gave PRD time to strike first, recall, and garrison effectively to block SF's rally. Late reinforcements from PRD started arriving about 5 minutes in, with SF sending backup about a minute and a half later. Then came a critical moment at 8 minutes 15, when a PRD player relocated behind an SF group, seemingly attempting a block. However, the move backfired. This player became isolated without support, and SF quickly rallied to eliminate the straggler. SF made their first attempt to take the tower at 10 minutes 25, activating Quick Occupy at 10 minutes 40, but PRD's coordinated defense blocked them at 13 minutes 40. By 40 minutes 50, PRD received reinforcements from Tower 1, while SF, in a questionable move, started pulling players away from Central to reinforce Tower 1 at 16 minutes. This is very questionable, as Central Tower hasn't been secured yet. With fewer SF players at Central, PRD seized the opportunity, stacking 2 support talents at 17 minutes 45 and capturing the Central Tower at 18 minutes 45. From there, PRD tightened their grip, relocating players around SF to clear them out of Central by the 30-minute mark. Once the area was secure, PRD strategically spread out to help side towers, leaving 5 players as guards at Central Tower. Around the 47-minute mark, SF made a desperate push, realizing the importance of reclaiming Central. PRD quickly responded by sending reinforcements of their own, with guards blocking SF relocations. Despite this, SF managed to contest the tower, but PRD's solid defense held firm. With 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock, PRD took the lead. The final minutes saw non-stop fighting over the Central Tower, but SF couldn't break through. PRD finished the game in style, securing victory with firm control of the Central Tower. What a display of strategy and resilience from both sides. And as the final scores come in, it's PRD who take the win with an impressive 85,450 points to SF's 79,500. Despite a valiant effort and some incredible plays from SF, PRD's persistence, coordination, and clutch performances secured them the victory in this thrilling showdown. This match was a prime example of how strategy and adaptability can turn the tide, with PRD capitalizing on key moments to maintain control and edge out their rivals. SF gave it their all, proving they're a force to be reckoned with, but today belongs to PRD. And that wraps it up, folks. This is Goody from Server 73 signing off. If you enjoyed the action, don't forget to drop a comment, hit that like button, and smash that subscribe for more Illusion Battlefield League highlights. Until next time, stay strategic, stay sharp, and have a great day.